while we are discussing, I encourage you to have your LAS with you on script writing because you may take note of the important information as I share to you about this lesson. So the script writing is, as you have there, you have your definitions there, some tips on how to do script writing in your LAS. Now, before we begin going through this, imagine a play without a script or imagine a movie without a script. What do you think will happen? So basically, the script is actually like a backbone of any presentation or a movie or a play. Without the script, like in our body, if there's no backbone, like we are going to, there's still a body, but it's not that with a good foundation. So just like a script without any, as a backbone without any script, the presentation, there's still a presentation, it won't be that good to look at or nice to watch. Now, a script is the art of writing scripts for mass media, such as feature films, televisions, productions, or even video games. And the writer of script is what you call the script writer. Also, if you are writing a script for a play, that's what you call the playwright. Now, why do you need to know about script writing? Of course, because soon in your exam, you need to provide a script before you are going to create that simple play. And at the same time, in the future, for sure, you'll be using this script writing idea. Now, it's not new to us when you are writing script, like when a teacher, not just in English, but in Filipino or in science or in CE, the teacher will say, okay, please create a drama about this, or please create a comic skit, a skit about this. And you are about to write a script. We're going to place the lines there, etc. But we are used to informal script writing, and this is an informal script. So usually an informal script looks like this, right? So we are used to this writing, like when we need to create a dialogue, we use informal script. So the informal script is it's left aligned. Okay, and then there's a character, then a colon, and then the lines. Then another character will say, then colon, then line. So that's an informal script. Now, what is an appearance of a formal script? So a formal script is this one. I'm going to show you a script from the Mape production. One is the example of formal script. Okay. And notice here, this is a formal script. Now, let's go through until page 3 and try to observe what are the characteristics of a formal script. So let's move on. So here. Okay. And then, so you have here this one, then this part here. Okay. Okay. So that's a formal script, right? Notice that in this formal script is, aside from the dialogues, there are other descriptions such as this one, and there are some descriptions for the actions. What should the character do? And some descriptions also are transition words or transition. So there are some words here in the vocabulary in script writing that you need to know, such as number 1 is the act. So notice there in the heading of the Mape Prod script in here, there is Act 1. Okay, so what is an act? An act is basically a major division in the action of a play. So it's major division, meaning there are some subdivisions. And the subdivisions are what you call the scenes. So in each act, there are some scenes there. So it could be 3 scenes, 4 scenes, depending on the nature of that act. So an example, what is a scene? A scene it signals change in location. So it could be another set, or the entrance of a new character. So for example, Ibarra and Maria Clara were talking, and then Padre Damaso came in, so that should be another scene. Okay? Next is the three acts of a script. So basically, there are three major acts, but some films and movies, they go beyond three acts. But just like in a Mape Prod production, they go beyond the three acts. But in a simple presentation, is there are just three major acts. So the first act is you have the act one. It contains the characters, the premise, what's the location, the setting, and the situation. Then it goes beyond to the plot point one. So after the act one, after it's like in the plot pyramid, the act one is our exposition and going to the rising action. Now, the plot point one class is the transition. Usually, transition is like an entertainment factor. It's not necessarily like the part of that plot, but basically the that transition is like just giving us like a wow, an entertainment factor is like an intermission number. So that's a plot point one. Then followed by, so going to the rising action to the climax, it's the act two. It's a confrontation and conflict. So the drama is already there, and then it's unraveling some of the motives of some characters, and then the plot point two is another intermission number. It's not necessarily like adding to the story, but just like a filler. And then going to the act three, which is the resolution, unraveling the solution to the problem, then going to the ending. So that's a simple presentation. It's just three major acts. Again, you can go beyond to five acts if you want. So we never know. Maybe next school year, if we will resume, then you can already resume face to face. You can already have MAPE production. So at least this one could help you. Okay. Now, the one act play, which is our goal for this school year or for this quarter, is just one act. So meaning it's just out of the three acts, you just need to cover one. So here is usually the one act play. It's more on the characters, short scenes, and then some telling of the situation like that. So that's just a one act play. Just few characters and no change of setting. So here, another vocabulary is the stage directions. It's the instructions on how the play is to be acted out. And other basic terms, you have the script, scene heading, interior, exterior, action, parenthetical, fade in, transitions, and dialogues. And I mentioned this right in your LAS that you need to know the meaning of this. And I'll be showing you the part of the script wherein you have this. So if this is your script, this is the fade in. What is a fade in? It's usually found at the first part of the script. So it's in the first page, top left. So the very first item on the first page should be this words fade in, and it signals that the action or the play is beginning. So there should be a fade in at the first page of your script. Another is this one. Character's first appearance. So when the character came in first, for example, in Act 1, Blake, Chelsea, and Jericho came in, you need to have a description for the character. So the description is, it allows the person portraying the role get to know the character. So it should be sweet, 20-year-old, and a brother like that. So for example, if Newell is performing as Blake, you need to have good description of Blake so that you can portray the role of Blake. Okay, so if you are Ibarra, you need to place a description so that as an actor, you can already get to know your character and internalize and visualize that you are that character. Okay, so the name should be capped, so all capped. Next, here is the page number. It should be at the top right corner of your page. Okay, next is the transitions. So usually the transition class it's in the right part of the pages. So it could be in the middle, at the top, or at the last part. And it's usually for instructions. For film editing, this is for like, okay, you need to cut this out or like that. Or if it's live performance, it's the instruction to the floor director. So just like this song number here, and then curtains still down or curtains up, lights off, lights on, like that. So that's the transition there. So you need to place like that also. Okay. Then you have the int or X. Int is interior, meaning indoor location, and X exterior or outdoor location. And this one is very essential for the int and exterior for films. Like, right, when you are filming somewhere, you need to know if it's taken here in the bedroom, interior, or outside in the garden, like that. So there should be like that. But for example, Mape production, all are interior. So you can still write there or not the int or X. But this one is very applicable for shooting, like that. When you shoot film. Next, so we have here after the int and X is our scene heading. The scene heading is a one-line description of the location and the time of the day of the scene. So it should be the location. Where's the location here? It's here, the church, and our time of the day is Sunday morning. So it's day. Okay? And the next is the action. The action is the narrative description of the events of a scene. So this action is giving information to scene one. So what happens in scene one? Jericho, Blake, and Chelsea are the praise worship and worship leaders of their local in Church, Alabama. So they are going to enter because they are praise worship leaders. Okay? Now let's move on to more vocabulary, and that's the character's name. The character's name should be center aligned, notice, and it should be all caps, and it should be above the dialogue or the parenthetical. Parenthetical is the action or attitude direction for a character. So when you have some actions there, like handshake, seems bothered. So what should be the emotion there, or what should be that facial expression, or what should be the action there? So it should be inside a parenthesis. That's why it's parenthetical. And the ones reading the script could know, okay, this one is my emotion for this time, or this one should be the action I should do. Okay, so that's parenthetical. And then there's a dialogue, the lines of speech for the character. Okay. So before you begin, you need to know what type of play it is. Is it chamber theater? Is it reader's theater? Is it one-act play or full-length play? Identify your ending, avoid cliche. So if you are making a story first, of course, avoiding cliche. When you say cliche, it's the expected ending. Like, I know what will happen at the end. So to avoid that one, before you begin your exposition, rising action, you should know how to end that play, how to end that story. Then determine your conflict and resolution. Then out from that, because you already have the ending and how should the conflict happen, then you can already begin creating your play. So ensure that the parts of the scripts are complete
from the acts 1, 2, 3, and to the ending.